So this video is actually really a cool little nugget, a little secret that I'm sharing with you because, man, it shifted everything for me. Today I want to talk to you about finding my why. I am a huge fan of Simon Sinek, who is the author of a principle that's called Start With Why. And I didn't know it at the time. I was applying it without knowing it. I mean, these incredible writers and content creators, what they do is they put words to things that, exist and are operational in life. And for me, the finding my why truly was a vital part of how I began my journey of sobriety and recovery. And I didn't know it at the time, but what happened in 2009 when I decided, again, if you haven't watched my videos, you're missing out, because in the past videos I talked about, the journey and how I struggled with my drinking and what was the number one thing that was keeping me stuck, and then what was the number one thing that allowed me to start getting better. And so if you haven't watched them, go watch them. But most importantly, I had to get to that point where I realized something needed to change. I had to get honest. I didn't know how to solve this drinking thing. I was terrified of what sobriety meant. I mean, the word itself felt like a freaking curse, a lifetime curse. I was just inundated by this awful sense of shame. The one that I felt for myself and my actions, and then the one that the world put on me. And I was happy to say, yep, bring it on, because I really, really did feel like I deserved it. And I just was stuck. And here's the fun part. I truly had a little nugget inside of me that said, you've got to save yourself. Like, you've got to claim your life. Like, you've got to fight for you. But here's the problem. I couldn't fight for me because I didn't like me, because I didn't believe in me. And so when people ask me today, Pamela, what was the fuel behind your recovery and who did you get sober for? I talk about this because the great, perfect words would be, well, I did it for me. It's to claim my life, which ultimately it was. But the truth is, I couldn't do anything for me because the relationship with me was so broken. The trust in me was so broken. There are few processes that are, I believe, as deflating and painful to the core, to a human being, any human being, as being out of integrity with yourself, which is a fancy schmancy way of saying you just don't believe you. You don't. Because you wake up and you say, I'm gonna do this, or in my case, I'm not gonna do this, which was I'm not gonna drink. And then I did. And when that happens long enough, you just don't believe in you, right? And so it's easier to navigate through life in other areas of my life, operating out of the fact that I couldn't believe in myself. I didn't trust myself. And that became really terrifying. So I had to kind of look at the force, the strength, the power of a why, so that I could actually anchor my process, which wasn't particularly easy to start, right? The sobriety in that thing that was bigger than what at the time was the connection to myself. And so for me, my why was the love of my life, my child. I had a night in which I drove the both of us drunk as a skunk. And thank God nothing happened. I mean, nothing as far as like an accident happened. But what did happen was that my baby was terrified and with tears in his eyes, when we finally got home, said, I'm so scared, Mommy. I don't know what's happening, but I was really scared that we were gonna get in an accident and it's my fault. And I've told you this story before. You've probably heard me tell this story. It normally makes me cry because there's still so much shame when I say it, even though I know that there shouldn't be any shame. But by saying that I feel shame, I take away the power of the shame. There's nothing more painful for a human being than to know that you are putting your children at risk because of your behavior. And so that happened, and I had to anchor my next steps in the fact that my love for him could not keep me sober, but my love for him could have me take action. So I had to find a different approach. I had to find why I needed to get sober as a fuel for my next steps. So I'm asking you today, if you continue doing what you're doing, do you believe that your life is going to grow in beauty, in possibility, in transformation? Are you going to be a more powerful parent? Are you going to be a better, creator, whatever it is that you do, employee, whatever, or if you have a company, are you going to become more, intelligent and in this new world that we're living? Are you going to be able to remain healthy? Are you going to be a more transformative, positive person in other people's lives? No? No. Yeah, no, I didn't think so either. Because here's the thing. You using all of your resources, your energy, right? Your physical well-being, your mental serenity, your emotional availability, all of these things, right, that we have available as human beings, so long as you keep using them, and your time, your precious, beautiful time, and the time of others, so long as you keep using those to continue, creating stories that revolve around your drinking, whether it's that kind of secretive little whisper of ooh, this is not great, but I'm still doing the, maybe 3-4 glasses of Chardonnay that are messing up my brain, to, the more serious, now I'm really blowing up my life with alcohol. Or it can also look like this. Nobody really knows, but I know, and I'm kind of super functional, but inside I have this like horrible war with myself, right? Or I become like this when I do this, and so now I'm all defensive and I'm an asshole to everyone, and I'm having all of these like consequences, or even worse, because the worst, we can go and talk about it forever, right? The drunkalogs, which are really terrifying, and I pray that you're not there. But if you are, you're still in the same safe place, the right space for you to start changing things. So if you're going through that, and imagine that you're using now all of these resources, these amazing, valuable resources to create stories of transformation, right? Why do you need to be sober? Well, maybe so that you actually become a parent that can be present, right? In this new world, maybe you become a parent that has more resources to teach your kids with love and patience and compassion, instead of, I don't know about you, but when I was drinking, I had very little patience, and I was always either mildly or wildly drunk, or craving, be done with whatever activity that I had as a parent so I could go drink. So why get sober? So that the roles in your life become more powerful, become easier, become transformative for yourself and others, so that you wake up feeling proud and happy about your yesterday, instead of shamed and scared and resentful and remorseful and regretful and all of those words, which are so disempowering to you as a human being, so that you can create new ideas and possibilities. Why? Because you came to this world just once, and guess what? The tomorrow that you've been talking about may not come at this moment in time. It's a guarantee. It's not guaranteed, man. It isn't. I mean, it never is for any of us, but now even more relevant than, like, the world needs you. The world needs you to be present, right? For every sphere of what we are supposed to do as human beings right now. On a political sphere, on a health sphere, on how you take care of others, on how you take care of yourself. Your children, if you have children, are looking at you with more attention now than they were when they were also exposed to other human beings in the real world, like their teachers and their schoolmates, right? Now, all of a sudden, you're the center of the world. And if you're struggling and having this battle with yourself, what do you have to give to the world? So my why was my child, right? I wanted to ultimately become the most powerful, the most loving, really, right? Positive, loving person that I could for him. And I had no idea, by the way, what my recovery had in store for me. But even that little why was just enough to ground me. So yes, while I can give you you should get sober for you, that's great words, but you may not have that connection with you enough to source yourself there. Not right now, because you may not believe in yourself at all. And I get that, I do, right? That's why I love teaching from that place where I know how you are feeling and I don't forget. I don't. And I will never be arrogant enough to pretend that it didn't happen and that it wasn't painful as fuck. I will never speak to you as if rationally what you do doesn't make sense or what you're feeling doesn't make sense. No, hell no. No. I honor the process that you're going through, and I honor the pain, and I honor that brokenness. But here's the good news. It gets better. Do you really think that the person who I was at the time, that version of me, the person that was, underwater because of my addiction, feeling like shit, feeling like I was a shit person, feeling disconnected, having zero availability to wake up and be excited about life. I was in survival mode, in depression all the time, feeling like crap, feeling hopeless. Do you really think, I don't know if I described it enough, I can go on. Do you really think that that person would ever be a person like the one that you're seeing now? Sure, my life is not perfect. I just lost a job. I have financial hiccups. My parents have illness and they live in a different country. But those things that are just facts, I can look at them with love and compassion and ownership and take a deep breath and know that there are things that I can control and things that are not mine to manage. And I have every morning the availability to look at my life with pride and to say, all right, let's go. What are we going to create today? How many lives can I touch? How much can I learn from others today? How many narratives of smallness am I going to be able to put down and throw out to the trash can today? It's fun to count them. I have a lot. I still struggle with that, and that's okay, right? I've become a person who likes herself. That's huge. I cannot tell you how much I disliked myself. I've become a person that feels good in her skin. And that, more importantly, has the ability to help others, or to at least get others curious, to do the work so that they too can feel good in their skin. And that's a million galaxies away from the person who I was. So if it happened for me, I am for sure that it can happen for you. And even if it doesn't feel like it right now, sometimes you just have to have faith and you have to trust and you have to say, okay, well, that doesn't make a lot of sense, but point me in the right direction and tell me what to do and how to take the first step. And so I'm inviting you to take that first step today. I'm inviting you because I truly believe that you can. I've seen enough people do it, and I know that you cannot be any worse in the deflation of self and the disconnection with the world and with yourself than I was at many points in my life. I look nothing and I feel nothing like the human that I was. And I was so lovely, and so whole. I was underwater because of my addiction. And I just didn't know it. So I'm here to help you. I'm here to guide your way. I'm here to hold your hand. I'm here to tell you that you've got this, and I believe in you. And I will continue to believe in you until you too can believe in yourself. But you have to do, the work, and you have to take the first step. So I'm inviting you to learn more. I'm inviting you to connect with me. I'm inviting you to check out the course that I'm offering to you today. I'm inviting you to ask me questions. But most importantly, I'm inviting you to just, get curious and ask yourself, am I willing to not do anything about this, but listen to this chick and not do anything? Can I afford to stay where I'm at? Can I afford to not find my why? Why should I get sober? I want you to ask yourself that. Why should I take this journey? It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. But why should I do it? All right. Share your answers with me. Take the next step and hit me up with any questions. Ciao.